Thaddeus Kray Productions presents Chapter 3 of The Handlers. Our crew has just touched down to the site, and now they have to investigate the source of the killings which is plaguing the archaeological team at the dig. In this chapter, you'll find out the one responsible for so many people turning up dead, as well as the motives. Hope you guys enjoy this installation of The Handlers. I plan on releasing more quite soon. Please continue. Frankenstein's monster says. As I said, we will be providing security detail, as well as hopefully putting a stop to whoever has been causing the deaths at this site. How many bodies? Isaac asked, getting to the point. So far, 5. There were 2 when I was contacted, and 3 since. This is going to be good, he says. Timothy snorts lightly. Fair enough, but do you think we'll be able to stop whatever the hell it is? That's what we're being paid to do. And that's what we will do, he says. And with this, he says, I need everyone gathered together with all your belongings and weaponry, whatever you're going to need within the hour. We're leaving in less than 24. Are we clear? Good. Within a matter of 72 hours, the private jet touches down in Sudan. Rankin is silent as he stands by his boss, Joseph. I wonder what kind of creatures are going to be coming off that plane. Whatever they are, or whoever they are, they should be able to get the job done. That's all I need to know, and that's all I think either one of us should know, Rankin says. I get that, but I'm curious. Let's call it part of my nature. It's also gotten you in a lot of trouble, my friend. Fair enough there, Joseph says, chuckling lightly. Ophelia stands beside of them, her arms crossed. She taps her foot nervously. You know, I don't understand how the hell both of you can make light of any of this. 5 people are dead. 2 people we're pretty damn close to. But the other 3, I mean, I'm not saying I didn't care about them, but I didn't hardly know them. I mean, one was a new guy, but still, he didn't deserve what he got. None of them did. I don't see how you guys can be so cavalier. Maybe it's the only way I can keep myself sane. How about that? He says, looking right into that of his assistant's eyes. Joseph, that is. Fine. And with this, we see the individual step from the plane. Rankin, of course, recognizes Blackfeather immediately. The older man, with gray hair tied back in a ponytail and a braid. Stepping down, he, of course, steps up to the trio of individuals. I take it you're Mr. Bristow. Pleasure to meet you. Take it you're Blackfeather. Charles Legrand Sanchez at your service. But yes, you can call me Blackfeather. 2 shake hands. He nods very calmly to Rankin. And with this, he smiles lightly to Ophelia. A massive individual, close to 8 foot in height. Huge. Possibly the biggest human in which any of them have seen, steps off. A young blonde girl, a woman, can be seen looking around. It's obvious the 2 are talking to each other. The girl seems very excitable. And with this, Joseph speaks. You know, I know her. I know her. I'm pretty sure you do, Blackfeather says, but I would advise you to keep that to yourself. I knew her parents, her father, Michael Dalton. He was real rich. I understand that, but I would advise you to keep yourself silent on that situation. Her and him are very close, so they're like an item. That's not my business, nor is it yours. You understand? She is part of the deal. But Warren here is also someone who I hired. Believe me, he is very good at what he does. That's all you guys are really needing to know at this point. There's no way in hell he can be human. I didn't say he was, he says finally. And with this, a young man with shades walks off the plane. He very calmly, just seems to be chill, not taking anything too seriously. But you can tell by his grace as well as the agility in which he moves. Great, another damn vampire, he mumbles under his breath. Joseph, that is. Rankin very calmly says, "Look, man, we need all the help we can get." Yeah, I get that, but damn it. Fine. And finally, last but not least, Timothy, with a very large duffel bag slung over broad shoulders, walks forth. "I take it you're Joseph Bristol, right?" "Yeah, you could say that, and who are you?" "Name's Tim. Heard a lot about you. Both good and bad." "Nice to know. So you guys are, the hired help. I'm hoping you guys know what you're doing, because believe me, at this point, I don't think I do." Rankin breaks the silence. "The fact is, man, we're in over our heads. We're needing help. Badly. We haven't even been able to get this excavation started like we're wanting to. We got the carbon testing back before we've even begun digging." "How far are you?" "Well, right now we're not even 10 feet down. Honestly, the men, they're refusing to budge until something's done." "I understand. So, right now, what we need to do is let everyone know that we're providing, I guess, the detail for their safety. And hopefully, if we can put the crew at ease," Rankin says. "Once that is done, that's where you guys come in. Once that is taken care of, I think maybe we can get progress started. Because believe me, I'm also wanting to see what's down there. Do you think that it has to do with what we think it might be?" Joseph says, "Right now, man, I don't know. I have no clue, but I'm telling you right now, this is something that we have never, as this is something that is completely unknown to anybody. Anyone that I've reached out to, and anything that I've studied, no way in hell. This is something completely new. Carbon dating comes back, this structure that we're overlooking and we're trying to dig up for 10,000 years. You're serious?" Blackbutter says. "Deadly. So yeah, Zelensky wasn't wrong. I don't know how the hell he knew, but yeah, he was right. This is definitely something that's big. And I mean, we're talking about the kind of thing that gets people killed big. And I don't know who the hell is trying to stop us, but we're needing help. And if you can help it, believe me, you guys do what you need to do. But we need to get this done yesterday. My reputation, as well as everything else, is on the line." "It's more than just that," Ophelia says, glaring at him. "I get that. But damn it, don't you think their lives, they died in vain if we don't figure out what the hell the answers we're needing are? Wouldn't you agree with that?" She nods slowly. When they make their way to the dig, suffice to say, it's as one would expect. Of course, you have people milling around. You have, of course, men with guns, security, obviously, as well as a few officials being paid, military types to be security, and also being paid to keep their mouths shut. Needless to say, with the real strong Muslim population around here, this place is being kept under lock and key. Many people who are very superstitious and not too thrilled about outsiders, they don't take how can I say this the best way? The individuals here don't take such things as a joke. This, everything. There actually, not long ago, been a man with a camera who had thought he could try to get some footage out. Joseph himself had the man shot dead. They don't play around with this. They can't afford to. They look at the structure. The structure is only partially unearthed. Roughly about a story worth of the structure in itself has been uncovered. It'll take months, maybe even longer than that, to get everything completely unsealed. Yet, there is one hole, as well as another on the other side, across from the main entrance. from which they had unearthed. The entrance itself is obviously near the top of the pyramid. And needless to say, it is evident they can walk down through a series of shafts as well as tunnels. So needless to say, while no one has dared even think about going down into those levels itself yet, it's very possible for a group of trained men as well as individuals who would know what they were doing. Once everyone is situated, it's then that Joseph speaks. Okay. What I've been able to find is, well, I'm not going to say sketchy, but I haven't been able to find a lot. I've tried running ultrasound, I've tried running sonar through that hole there, which is the entrance. Haven't found anything. And that is something that you just don't have happen. This stone, this rock, it's like granite, something else. I've tried having a couple of my guys drill through it. Of course, I've tried other ways, the normal archaeological type stuff, which you guys would understand. He says in his arrogant tone, to jackhammers. So how were you able to get that opened? That's the thing. It opened on its own. Once we dug up this part of the pyramid, one of my men stepped right there. It opened just like something out of a bad movie. Poor bastard fell. Only God knows how many thousands of feet down there to his death. I heard his scream as well as him splatting. The guy was pretty good at what he did. I wasn't too thrilled about losing him. But shit happens when it comes to stuff like this. He says, rather cavalier. The fact is, there's a defense mechanism in which Mr. Bristow has built within himself. As I said, he is a good man, but he is arrogant, as well as the fact he had been denied by the Smithsonian so long ago. When it comes to his tenure, as well as any kind of support, it's made him bitter. And that's simply the way of things. Ophelia coughs slightly. And she then says, I have been doing this for the better part of 15 years. And let me tell you right now, I have never seen anything like this. Anything. Only God himself knows what's down there. But we have found a few things. Like what? Well, we lowered a camera down there and we were able to get a few glimpses of what's in the walls down there. Writing. Writing that we don't recognize, but maybe, well, in time we can translate. It's then that Warren speaks. Interesting. So, how the hell would you be able to translate something like that? That's the thing. It's nothing like the normal cuneiform or anything that the Egyptians wrote. It's something that it's not gibberish. I'll tell you that right now, Rankin says. It's something... the glyphs are almost like... This is the strange part. The drawings, as well as the hieroglyphs that we were able to see down there. You have to understand, I myself put my foot down. I'm not letting anyone go down there until we have, well, whatever this threat is that's been killing our people has been dealt with. That's the first thing. After that, maybe. That's a big maybe. He says, looking to Joseph, I might be willing to let us go down there and see what the hell is. Like I said, the few shots as well as footage that I've gotten, well, I'll show you guys myself. It's not a problem. But it reminds me actually of ancient, almost Aztec or Mayan. The way the drawings as well as the positions of the characters. So you're saying it's not exactly a written language. Exactly. It's more, like I said, drawings. Have any kind of cuneiform or anything that you would normally find. Whatever it is not Egyptian, he says. Joseph nods. That's exactly it. And this is the reason I called you guys here. It's not just wanting to give you guys a little bit of a history lesson. I'm needing your help. This is the last guy that we found. And with this, he leads them to a tent where a corpse lay. This time, the man, which is found, his entire body is there. His eyes open, his face frozen in a rictus of horror and death. And a silent scream. He lays on the table. This right here is the last guy that we found. Obviously, as you can see, drained of all blood. Nothing. Nothing left. Isaac speaks. Man, you guys are so fucking stupid. What do you mean by that? And with this, Warren glares down to Isaac. Mind yourself. Whatever, man. No shit. Yeah, a vampire did this. Scents all over the place, number one. Number two, yeah, I mean, it's typical. Matter of fact, I did that to a couple of people not even a couple of months ago. There was a guy that owed me a couple of bills. Pissed me off. Found his ex, drained her to a fucking prune. Left her just like that. The bastard defined. Bitch was a lousy lay anyway. He says snorting in amusement. As the thing grows serious, whoever did this, it's not someone I would know about. It's definitely not someone that I would know which would be connected to anyone who made me. Mind explaining? Rankin says. Yeah, gladly. You guys have to understand something. There are 3 original vampires. True, there's Big Daddy-O, Brius. But that's neither here nor there. He wouldn't do anything like this. Nor would anyone he works with be connected to this. Nothing like this. Hell, they're the ones funding you guys, right? Joseph nods silently. All right, then. So you're going to have one of two things. You could have a rogue going out there trying, maybe he was hired by somebody. Or in this case, she was hired to make a mess. Now that would make sense. But I'm thinking this is something else. And what would that be? Charles himself asks. Actually fascinating. Well, the thing is, now that I'm looking, he taps his nose. A woman did this. Take a look at his face. There's shock. Shock and awe. Yeah, there's fear, but there's more surprise. All right, Rankin says himself, actually piqued by this. Isaac speaks gently. Before I was turned, about 20 years ago, I worked for the Mafia. A couple of small crime families here or there. And my talents, it was an offer that I damn sure wasn't going to refuse. Leave it at that. So I know a few things. I damn sure know, more than one or two things about death. Call it a talent, he says, smirking lightly. Like I said, this guy was caught by surprise. Yeah, he's terrified, but he's also shocked, like, what the hell? Now, if this was a guy like me coming at him, believe me, he'd be knowing, and he, I promise you, his look on his face would be different. Now, either someone real small or a broad did this. So either that or a child. And the thing is, when it comes to embracing children, that's frowned on. Matter of fact, it's automatically the final death. No one has ever had the balls to do it, and it's also a taboo. A couple of attempts that were done and successful, both the maker and the child were killed. So that's not going to be happening. So a bitch is what did this. Savannah actually speaks up. So there has to be a pattern. I mean, that's the thing, Joseph says. All these killings are random. I mean, the first one I can understand, he was a head of security, but everyone else? I mean, obviously it has to be a warning of some sort. That's why I called you guys. I mean, we can stand here jabber-jawing all we want, but Relax, Rankin says. Go ahead and continue with what we were saying. Isaac nods slowly. Here's the thing. You guys know about the first two. I'm going to enlighten you about a third one. As you guys know, the Big B, Brius, had 3 kids. Had 3 kids. At least, it's the first 2 you know about. So you're saying there was a third? It's kind of a dirty secret, he says finally. The third one was a man named Malachi. He actually is a stake in a river not too far from here. A very nasty battle went down. A lot of people were hurt. Many vampires were killed. It was a real clusterfuck from what I heard. But, as you guys know, staking one of us doesn't kill us, just paralyzes us. Sometimes the damage is bad enough, and that kind of thing, yeah, it can, but usually it just paralyzes us, and it has to be to the heart. So, just because the bastard's paralyzed and not able to do anything, that doesn't mean he's really dead. So why the hell didn't they kill him? I mean, come on, that makes no sense. It would, actually, if you'd fucking listen to me. He says, pointing a finger to Joseph. You know what, man? Enough. Both of you. Continue, Blackbuddy says. Well, anyway. Fact is, killing him would have killed thousands of other vampires, and the fact is, they weren't too keen on that. Besides, many of Malachi's numbers have kind of joined with ours. So, you can do the math. Matter of fact, 2/3 of his forces have joined forces with the other 2. That, of course, being Mirrodin and Nikolai. So, I'm thinking this bitch right here will be one of Malachi's. And yeah, she's powerful. I can tell you that right now. I can just... Because the fact is, you guys out there have enough guns to start an army of your own. And I can tell they're pretty well trained, ain't they? Yeah, that and then some, at least a couple of them, Rankin says. A couple of them I hired myself, brought aboard anyway. That big guy out there in Johnson, he doesn't play around. He keeps everything in tip-top shape. As a matter of fact, we caught a guy, I don't know if he was a reporter or not, but, well, how can I say it was the best way? I made sure for a fact that he didn't leave out of here alive. I told Johnson to shoot him, and that's exactly what he did. We're keeping a tight ship here. We have to. No one gets in or out without our say-so. Now, true, everyone here is being paid pretty good. Even the locals we hired. But the fact is, keeping this place a secret isn't going to happen for long. And that's why I'm not even sure we'll be able to really finish the dig before everything goes down. But I've always been after knowledge, you know, and that's what I'm wanting to find out, just like all of us here are. And I thought that, I mean, even if this Malachi guy is like the black sheep of the family or whatever, wouldn't he be wanting the same thing? Not really, Isaac says. Gotta think about this. From what I was told about the bastard, he was like, if I can't have it, no one can. You dig what I'm saying? And you also have to think about this, Isaac says. If the bitch tried to just kill you, he says, pointing to that of Joseph, or any of your friends here, that'd be a message that wouldn't be listened to. Understand? The fact is, this bitch here is basically designed to do one thing. Her job is to break your spirit. And her job is also to cause so much low morale that you guys just give up. That's the thing. Even if they tore you apart and made a mess out of you. Fact is, there'll be someone else sent in your place. This right here, they're trying to make your lives hell. So we need to find this woman and kill her. It's just that simple. Now that they found out who, or I should say what, is doing the killings, will they be able to find her before more people wind up dead? Hang in there, and you'll find out quite soon. What exactly is down there, beneath that pyramid? Again, dear listener, be patient. That's going to be coming up quite soon. Hope you enjoyed Chapter 3 of The Handlers.